Good afternoon, my tacticians, and welcome to yet another video consisting of Tacticians Movesets, or Tacticians Movesets. Yes, I believe I said that twice now. In any case, I'm back on my PC, which means I can now bring you regularly scheduled videos. And what do you know, we're going to be starting off with probably one of my favorite equine Pokemon, or at least those of the horse variety. And it's going to be starting off with Zebstrika. So, we're going to be looking at Zebstrika right now. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot in terms of, well, stats. It doesn't have a lot of defensive stats. It is, however, a strong special attacking and physical attacking sweeper. So it's got that 100 base attack stat, 80 base special attack, and 116 base speed stat, which means it's a pretty good sweeper. It's not going to take many hits, but we're going to be using this Pokemon for its two abilities, Lightning Drive and Sap Sipper. So, for those of you who don't know what Lightning Drive, or Lightning Rod does, is every time it gets hit with an electrical attack, it will increase its special attack stat by 1 stage. And for Sap Sipper, think of it as Lightning Rod, but for Grass-type physical attacks. So if it gets hit with a Grass-type move, it's going to increase the physical attack stat by 1 stage. So this gives Zebstrika a lot of basically snowballing glass cannon status power. Every time it gets hit with either an electric attack or a physical attack, or not physical attack, electric attack or grass attack, it's going to either increase the physical or special attack stat. So, hopping into Showdown right now, we're going to be using Showdown to basically look at the teams. We're going to be starting off with our first Zebstrika. This is just your basic average Zebstrika right here. It's got to get yourself a Life Orb. It's got the Sap Sipper, as I was saying. What we're going to be doing is using the Sap Sipper and Lightning Rod to increase our attack stats as much as possible. Which means we don't really need to worry about, well, increasing our attack stat, or we don't need to worry about an offensive nature. Instead, we're going to be going for as fast a Zebstrika as we possibly can. In this case, we're going to be looking at the adamant natured Zebstrika holding a Life Orb with the Sap Sipper. And for moves, we're going to be looking at Flame Charge for some fire coverage, as well as to increase our speed. So if we're getting if we have a grass Pokemon on the field and it's giving us a little attack boost, well, we might as well increase our speed at the same time, especially if we're facing other grass type Pokemon or ice types even. So that's what the Flame Charge is for. Give us some damage coverage, and increase our speed at the same time. Whenever Flame Charge connects with the target, it's going to increase the speed stat of the Pokemon that uses it. For additional coverage, we've got a normal type move in Double Edge, so that's going to be one of our heavy hitting attack moves. And finally, we're going to have Wild Charge for just basic stab damage. And finally, Protect, because protect, why not? So our next Zebstrika is going to be a bit on the other side of the Zebstrika line. We're going to be looking at the Lightning Rod Zebstrika, and right now we've got the Lightning Rod with Firium Z Zebstrika, and for moves, we're going to be taking on the Shockwave. The reason why I put Shockwave down is I hate Alolan Muck, and I hate having to fight Pokemon that have to deal with evasion. And since we're going to be using this for our stab damage move, and because Shockwave never misses, and because we've got the Lightning Rod ability, if we're playing in a doubles format, especially if this is a doubles format, we're going to be using Lightning Rod to increase our special attack. And if we have like a faster Pokemon such as, say, a Jolteon on the team, we're going to be using that Jolteon to increase our special attack stat. So why not have a move that will never miss and give us stab damage at the same time, and have an ability that increases our special attack stat? Why not? It's a good strategy. For our secondary move, we're going to be having Overheat, just some basic flame coverage, as I said. We're also going to be equipping the Firium Z Crystal, so that's going to be our massive burst damage hit if we need to get it off. And of course, if we use the Firium Z Crystal, we won't suffer the negative effects of Overheat until the next time we use Overheat. And we're going to be having Hidden Power Ice to help us deal with those pesky Dragon-type Pokemon, and basically Pokemon weak to Ice-type attacks. And of course, Protect, because why not? As for EV investment, Timid Nature, that's what I'm going for. Timid Nature, increasing our special attack and speed with the EVs. So that's going to be our secondary Zebstrika. So the next one is pretty much my all-out attacking Zebstrika. You're just going in with a jolly nature. You're just going in with a choice band. You're going in with a sap zipper, as I said before. However, this one does not make use of the same kind of strategies. Instead, we're going to be going with Thrash for our normal type damage. We're going to have Wild Charge for our stab. As well, we're going to be having Bounce. So if you have a Zebstrika from Generation 6, which you should if you're transferring it from Generation 6, I would recommend giving it the move Bounce from the move tutors before you transfer it, because Bounce is one of the few flying type moves that, actually it's the only flying type move that Zebstrika can learn, and you can only learn it via move tutor. And it's a very powerful move. Why not give it a chance with that bounce ability or bounce attack? As for ability or for our final move, we're going to be having Flame Charge again just for some fire coverage. And since we're locked in with the choice band, we won't be really using the Flame Charge's speed boost, unless of course we're just going to be going constantly hitting the opponent with Flame Charges. But we're going to be having the Sap Zipper ability as well. And of course, we're going to be having the Jolly Nature. We're going to increase our speed and physical attack power. So that's going to be our third Zebstrika. And for our final Zebstrika, we're going to be having I'm going to say a very, very strange Zebstrika. This one is not exactly geared towards attacking the opponent. It's geared more towards disrupting the opponent. So what have we got to work with? So Zebstrika gets some interesting moves. We're going to be using the Charge Beam as our basic stab damage and attacking ability. It's also going to increase our special attack stat if we, if we are lucky with the rolls and actually get the special attack increase from Charge Beam. As well, we're going to be having Thunder Wave. So we're going to be using Thunder Wave to try to paralyze our opponents, slow them down, mess up their strategy. We're also going to be using Screech. If we have the egg move Screech on the Zebstrika, then we can disrupt the opponent's physical defensive stats. If they're trying to, run heavy physical sweepers or so, or heavy physical tanks, that Screech is actually going to mess them up greatly, and it's going to either make them switch out or endure that really heavy physical attack stat or attack that they're going to, endure. And finally, Snatch. Now, the reason why I'm putting Snatch out there is because there are Pokemon that want to try to set up against you, such as, like, say, a Dragon Dancing Dragonite. So why not take the chance? If you know they're going to go for a setup, why not try to snatch their stat increasing move? It's got I believe it's got a +3 or +4 priority, which means it's going to go before any other status increasing move. So if the opponent is running, say, a Prankster Tailwind setter, well, take the chance and go for a Snatch. If they got a Talonflame, you know is going to go for the Tailwind setup. Get the Snatch off. Take those abilities and use them as your own. That is what this Zebstrika wants to do. It wants to disrupt the opponent. It wants to take what it can and give nothing back. So those are going to be my 4 Zebstrikas for you. The basic one, your basic Life Orb, a Sap Zipper attacker. You've got your Firium Z Crystal user, Lightning Rod, Shockwave Overheater, special attacker. You've got your Zebstrika who's locked into the choice band and just wants to thrash around and beat people up. And finally, your 4th Zebstrika that's just basically strained and wants to disrupt the opponent, not really, hurt them very much, but, that's what it wants to do. Mess with them, mess around, and do crazy shenanigans. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am once again back on my main PC, which means I can bring you regularly scheduled videos. And this has been Tactics Movesets with Zebstrika. I will see you Tacticians next time. Bye-bye!